welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. A special welcome to all the new subscribers that have come on board recently. It's great to have you with the channel. Right, today we're going to tie a buzzer, and it is a Spanflex buzzer. In the vise I have a size 12 straight shank hook. Now don't let anybody tell you that buzzers have to be tied on curved bend hooks. These curved hooks of course are successful, but some of my most successful buzzers have been on straight shank. So I'm tying with a grey olive thread, which is a 10-0, and I'm going to start this just behind the eye, wind down and wind back again and trim off the excess. Right, so this is the Spanflex, and this is a dark olive Spanflex, and I'm just going to cut a piece off. And now if you've never tied with Spanflex, or sometimes it's called flexi-floss, which is almost exactly the same. It's elasticated, and it is a type of silicone, I suspect. Now, because it's elasticated, it can move around a little bit, so just be careful when you're tying. I'm going to tie this in on top, like so, bind it down. Now, as you go down the fly, pull tight the Spanflex or flexi-floss and carry on down the shank. It doesn't matter whether it's completely covered at this stage. You can always cover it up later, and go around the bend, about halfway around the bend, like so. Don't go too far around, otherwise you could impede the hooking capability of the fly. And then wind back up to the thorax area, and here we'll trim off the excess. Now when you trim it off, pull it tight and trim it off. Just tidy that up a little bit and bring it back to the rear, to the thorax area. And now when you tie with this, pull it tight to stretch it, and the first segmentation should be flat and a little bit closer together. And as you come up the hook shank, you can open up the segmentation a little and also release some of the tension on the Spanflex to create a heavier rib as you approach the thorax area. And when you get there, tie it off. Pull it tight when you're tying it off. And pull it tight to trim it off as well. Just tidy up in this area. And we're going to start the building of the head. Now the head is significantly thicker than the body. But before we go too far, I'm just going to tie in the hot spot. Now I'm going to be using some floss. This is Glow Bright number 7, which is an orange floss. I'll trim a piece off and we'll tie this in. So I'm just going to tie that in on top, like so, and trim up the excess. And bind down. Right. Now, as you know, floss can splay, so I'm going to twist it to try and keep it from splaying and separating. We'll see how we get on. And tie off the hot spot. And trim up the thread or the floss and tie down that trimming. You're going to build up the head. Make sure that you tie in all of that fluorescent floss and build up the head. As I said earlier, the head should be significantly larger than the width of the body. Just take your time. Like so. Right, now to tie it off, I like to have a black head tie off, so I'm going to use a cheat. I'm going to use this black Sharpie, fiber tip, felt tip, whatever you like to call it, and tie off the fly. Right, now I'm going to coat this with some UV varnish. And I'm going to start off with a heavy cover on the head to create that extra width that I was talking about. And give that a zap. And now I'm going to give it another coat. And start with a coat on the body. Now, don't put too much onto the body. You don't want to lose the segmentation. If you have put too much on, it will go flat. And when it is flat, you know you've put too much on. And I'll give that another zap. And there you have the fly complete. Buzzers are not particularly difficult ties. Right, some patterns are more difficult than others, but generally speaking, they're not difficult. You can see a little bit of thread there where it broke. Now, how to fish this? Normally on a floating line with a very, very slow retrieve. You can, of course, just let it drift in the breeze if there is a breeze on the water. And the takes are normally quite savage, so beware. Hope you enjoyed the tying. Don't hesitate to share it. Do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for viewing. Bye.